as you mentioned in my introduction, I have a background in neuro-linguistic programming and in cognitive behavior therapy. So both disciplines are very much aligned in the idea that as human beings we have this tremendous advantage that we can become conscious of our own thinking and our own what our own focus or what grabs our attention, and that we can move away from what we don't want towards what we do want. And I think gratitude plays an important part in this, because it helps to focus on the things that you enjoy, that give you a sense of fulfillment, accomplishment, happiness.
Stay connected to gratitude. Hit the follow button right now and join thousands of listeners tuning in each week. We're the Gratitude Seekers. Come join us. Hi, Gratitude Seeker. Welcome to a new episode of the Gratitude Podcast. Our guest today is a certified business coach, trainer, and facilitator in systems theory, NLP, and cognitive behavior therapy. She encourages people to develop ways of working that are indispensable in an increasingly fast-changing world, and especially in these challenging times. Welcome to the Gratitude Podcast, Steff. VanHaverbeke.
Yeah, it's my honor to be here.
I really hope that I've pronounced your name correctly.
Yeah, that's all right.
I really love.
It's a Flemish name, so it's a bit hard on the English tongue. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I really love how you said it beforehand, because, like you said, it's a different way of pronouncing the words, and
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy languages, and I really enjoy how we
Yeah.
communicate in different parts of the world, and even if we have in most cases the same letters, the way we pronounce them is
Yeah.
quite different, and I really enjoyed. I really enjoy, even in English, all kinds of dialects and all kinds of ways of saying the same things that I believe connect us with that particular culture.
Yeah, exactly. It is so enriching to hear people, speak their own language, or trying in another language and making mistakes. I find that always very, how to say that? I don't, I'm, not, I'm looking for the word in English. So inspiring is the word. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, since you mentioned this, so what would be the word in Dutch?
Uh, for what? Verrijkend. It's
Ah.
enriching. And verrijken can also mean to inspire. In Dutch it's a word that goes for many things. It can be enriching financially, but most of the time it's used in more spiritual sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's very
non-material
interesting.
sense.
Yeah. On the podcast, we've explored this idea, like how so the word for gratitude is quite similar in several languages, and how beautiful it is in French, for instance, or in Italian, and
Mm,
I think it's really interesting to see all of the details behind the words, and I think it's similar with poetry, for instance, as well. Like when you hear a poem in a certain language, you get the feeling of
Mm.
and that artist that wrote the poem, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is a good friend of mine who passed away. For unfortunately enough, she was a poet, and she wrote a poem um, when we had these bomb attacks in Brussels
Mm.
a few years ago, and she wrote a poem about that, and it traveled the world. It was translated in various languages. She got invited as a TED speaker based on
Wow,
that. Yeah, it's an amazing story, but sadly, she passed away 2 years ago. Yeah,
sorry to hear that.
yeah, but it was yeah, it's there's still a group of people who recite her poem online every day. It's
Wow,
amazing. Yeah,
wow.
Her name is Dorothy O'Shea. She was a Belgian,
Hmm.
so and a good friend of mine.
Wow. At least she gave us a beautiful legacy, and this is what words can do. And
Yeah.
since we're talking about this, I'm curious, uh, what does gratitude mean for you? Like, how do you define gratitude?
Well, it is. Some would say it's a feeling, um, but I believe it's much more than just a feeling. Um, it's a feeling in that sense that I feel it as an open, warm feeling in my heart center, like many of us do. But it's there's also something that has to do with intention. Um, it guides us. Gratitude is something is also can also be a guide. What are you grateful for? So in that sense, it means a lot to me. Um, I feel grateful for many things, and certainly in the past year, I've spoken that out loud, um, what I'm grateful for.
Hmm.
So and that I believe it's a way to connect with yourself, but also with other people, just by simply stating what you are grateful for. Yeah, I think it's something beautiful and something we often forget.
Do you have like a practice in this sense, or you mean speaking gratitude out loud, like to other people, or how does that work for you?
Yeah. Well, um, since communication is a feedback loop, I believe that it's important with what intent uh, you say something. So the intention behind what you're saying is very important, and that's why when I say something, I do it with a lot of thought and a lot of care. What is my intention with what I'm going to say, and so when I speak or state the things that I'm grateful for, it is a way to create also my reality. It impacts the others around me. They hear what I am saying. They can show or say what they are appreciative for, and so it's kind of it resonates in a way that goes a lot further than your own um, sphere of influence. It is something that's that's picked up by others and that others can transmit. Sorry, um, and uh, and yeah, it has a this viral quality to it. So, and I believe it's very important to be conscious about what you're saying and always be grateful. And when I feel grateful for something, I have no problem with putting that into words. Like I feel grateful now for this interview and this podcast. So thank you for that.
One of the things that are guaranteed to connect you to gratitude is going out in nature. I love nature, and seeing how much plastic waste we are producing made me think of ways of cutting back. One thing I'm always throwing in my recycling is those huge laundry detergent bottles. But did you know 500 million of those bottles end up in landfills and oceans every single year? That's why I made the switch to Earthbreeze laundry sheets. They come in plastic-free packaging, so they're more eco-friendly than traditional detergent. It's an easy way to get clean clothes without all the plastic waste. Get 40% off with your subscription at earthbreeze.com/gratitude. That's earthbreeze.com/gratitude. I've also included a link in the resources section of this episode so that you can easily access it with just one tap. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. You know by now that my favorite beverage is water. It keeps me going physically, mentally, and emotionally. Keeping hydrated is key, especially during the holidays when we're always on the go. From the cold outside to the much too hot interiors, we tend to sweat and to forget about the core good habits that end up making us feel drained. With convenient packets of Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier or Sugar-Free Hydration Multiplier, you get 8 vitamins and nutrients, 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, and no artificial sweeteners. Making a smoothie or a fruit juice can be cumbersome, but with the true-to-fruit flavors, you and your family will keep hydrated in a much more enjoyable way. Dare, pour, live more. One stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by LIV Hydra Science, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. Even more so, it's non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Stay hydrated through the holidays with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code GRAT at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code GRAT at liquidiv.com. I understand. So you mean feeling it on the inside and also communicating it, also
Yeah,
sharing that gratitude with other people, and um, also creating with that energy that's behind
yeah,
the words. Hmm.
yeah. And creating is very important to me. Um, I believe we are um, in a great part creators of our own reality, and uh, and so the words that we say, the words that we say, um, it it creates a reality. So if, for instance, if you say you have problems, and I'm, I'm not saying that we should run away from our problems, but when we focus only on what we need or what we lack, we create that reality. And on the other hand, if we put into words what we are grateful for, we create that reality. So it's actually much smarter to yeah to put into statements and words and questions and stories the things that you feel grateful for. It will create a much better reality for you and the people close to you.
That makes so much sense. And for instance, if there are listeners that have trouble with this, in the sense that um, they might be, for us in general, we might be so used to um, thinking about the things that aren't there, or the things that can be improved, or about the problems that we're having. How can we make the switch?
Yeah, well, it is of course very natural for your brain to focus on the things that put you in danger. Uh, so when you don't have enough of something, for instance, you don't have enough financial resources, you don't have enough friends, you don't have enough, whatever, something that seems that you are in lack of or in need of, it automatically uh, triggers your brain to respond, and it responds not in a very usually not in a very constructive way, and we see that all over the place. So the first step is to realize, to become aware of your own thinking and what's happening inside of you when you focus on the things that you actually want to get away from, and to refocus on the things that you do want, and that the things that you do enjoy. So it's important to be able to reprogram your brain. As you mentioned in my introduction, I have a background in neuro-linguistic programming and in cognitive behavior therapy. So both disciplines are very much aligned in the idea that we are, as human beings, we have this tremendous advantage that we can become conscious of our own thinking and our own uh, what our own focus, or what grabs our attention, and that we can move away from what we don't want towards what we do want. And I think gratitude plays an important part in this, um, because it helps to focus on the things that you enjoy, that give you a sense of fulfillment, accomplishment, happiness. Yeah,
Exactly, and they are very personal. Like, if we have this attitude of gratitude, and we seek the things that make us grateful, we can find those things that resonate most with us, and it could be the simple things, or just something that's very personal, um, that we appreciate about ourselves, about our families, about different
yeah,
things in our life. And that's the beauty of it, because while the challenges might be general, like the challenges that are the world is facing at the moment, we can balance things out when we are focusing on the things that are working in our life, and the things that we appreciate, that are close to our heart.
indeed, indeed. And there are some people who don't believe that. Uh, the yeah the people with who are critical to this idea, that who will say, yeah, you don't have to run away from your problems, or you don't, when you have something you have to deal with, you have to just deal with it and get it over with. And of course that's true, huh? um, it's important that when you are in a particular zone of danger, that you want to get out of it, and that you need to get out of it. But the question is, first of all, how often are we in real danger?
Mm,
Not very much, usually. And the second is, there's actually real hard science to this. And that's something that people very often don't know or don't understand. And the science is that there's a function in our brain which is called the reticular activating system. And that's this this phenomenon that your attention is automatically grabbed by the things that preoccupy you. For instance, if you're looking to rent a place or to buy a house or whatever, suddenly you notice all these signs all over the place from houses and apartments and that are available. Whilst otherwise you might not notice them. And the same goes when you, for instance, when you purchase a car or something, an item, and suddenly you see all kinds of people driving the same car or using the same computer or using the same device or whatever. And as a woman, when you're wearing a dress, you will immediately notice somebody who's wearing the same dress. So it is, and that's the function. That is the reticular activating system. So it grabs our attention and puts into our awareness the things that preoccupy us. So if you are preoccupied with all the things that are going sideways, that are not working for you, your reticular activating system will guide your attention to see a lot more of those things that you actually don't want in your life. And instead, when you program your reticular activating system to start noticing the things that bring you joy, happiness, fortune, you will start to notice those opportunities and those examples in your life that confirm, what your brain is already looking for. And so it is a powerful thing. And so we have to be really smart how we use this. And having, for instance, a gratitude journal is a great way. And it's definitely helped me in my personal life and challenges to really put my focus on the things that I really wanted in my life, because it puts my awareness to those things that I had. And it could be the smallest things. And to be grateful for that. And that is an excellent way to program your reticular activating system. So it is a tool. It is a tool like many others. And by understanding how the tool works, we can really use the tool to our advantage and to the benefit of not only ourselves, but people close around us, to the team that we work in whatever context.
Americans spend an average of 90% of their time indoors and take about 20,000 breaths a day. According to the EPA, indoor air is 2 to 5 times more polluted than outdoor air, and in some cases up to 100 times more polluted. Data shows that air pollution is responsible for nearly 7 million premature deaths globally. We are fortunate enough to live outside the city with easy access to it and a green meadow view outside the window. The not so fortunate part is that when we open the windows, we can hear all the constant traffic close to us and the air quality isn't the best. Aside from that, our neighbors have a passion for using all kinds of fossil fuel motors to build or cut grass. I love doing breath work. I'm sure you do too. And it's in those moments when you breathe deeply that you become aware of the quality of the air you breathe and how important it actually is. So what's the solution? Introducing an air purifier that captured the attention of established media outlets such as CNN, Money, ABC, and more. Air Doctor. Air Doctor filters out 99.99% of dangerous contaminants and allergens such as pollen, pet dander, dust mite, mold, and even bacteria and viruses, so your lungs don't have to. All Air Doctor purifiers also feature whisper jet fans, 30% quieter than ordinary air purifiers. Air Doctor also comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't love it, just send it back for a refund minus shipping. Head to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code GRATITUDE, and depending on the model, you'll receive up to 39% off or up to $300 off. Exclusive to podcast customers, you will also receive a free 3-year warranty on any unit, which is an additional $84 value. Lock the special offer by going to airdoctorpro.com and use promo code GRATITUDE. This is amazing, yeah, and it can be used, like you just mentioned, in so many situations,
Yeah,
because we use it all the time, whether we are aware of it or not. And this is the interesting part.
yeah.
And it's just up to us how we use it, and to become aware of the fact that we are actually in charge of it,
Hmm.
even if it might not seem so.
Even if it might not seem so. Yeah. And for instance, if you get home and you're stressed because of things that happened at your work or during traffic or whatever, and you're stressed out, and you see your kids, and you project your stress, onto them, and you see your partner, and he or she is also, picking that up. What
Mm.
what are you bringing home? Huh? So, and there's a choice here, and the choice starts with becoming aware, becoming conscious about what is happening inside you, and giving it a place, and then deciding what are you going to do with it, because it every emotion is energy. Even stress can be transformed into something else. So that's something that I not only believe deeply, but I also practice. When I have the sense of stress, um, I I use it to drive me forward, but also to notice the opportunities that I have to transform this energy into something way more constructive.
Makes a
And
lot of sense.
yeah, and it's something that I talk about in my book Neo. Um, so it's a strategy that I use to, we're constantly under pressure, busy, 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 and we lose a lot of things because of that. And so one of the things we can do is to decide, what we are going to do with our time, what are we going to do with our energy, what are we going to do with our attention, and to be very conscious about that and the decisions that you make in even the smallest things, and do everything with intention. And that starts, for me, it starts when I wake up. When I get down and I see my cats, they immediately greet me.
Mhm.
Uh, but they greet me because they want food, of course.
Yeah.
But I give
Not
them,
just food.
some, yeah, I give them something so that they are happy, and then I I take this couple of minutes to really make my cup of coffee. It's a ritual. It's like how I start my day, and it could, for many of us, it's something, just push the button on the machine and get it over with and grab your cup of coffee. For me, it has become a ritual at the beginning of the day, a moment to reflect while the coffee machine is doing its work. What is my intention for today? And not so much what do I need to get done for today. No. What is my
Mm,
intention for today? You know, and it really sets my day. It programs me how I will live my day. And the same goes when you know, at the end of the day, to when I close up my computer, I also have this thing that when I close my computer, I close all the windows on my computer, so that
mm,
the next day I can start with a clean slate, with a
yeah,
clean desktop. I believe a lot in having to declutter your life. And it is such small things that I really put a lot of intention and attention.
that makes a lot of sense because I know in my case as well, like when I try to keep the tabs on my browser to a minimum,
Mhm.
and I see my stress level rising whenever I have too many open tabs.
Yeah,
And it's very interesting how this works and how impactful it is when you're able to have that clean slate and just okay, I'm gonna start fresh. I don't have to think
yeah,
about all of the things that I maybe didn't do yesterday, and I have to do them today. And
yeah, yeah. And you
yeah,
fill your life with clutter. Um, and this also goes for um, my my book where I write my the things that I have. This little book, and it's lying always on my desk. I don't have many items on my desk, but this book is always on my desk, and it's my gratitude journal.
mhm,
And I don't write in it every day, to be honest. Yeah, but just the fact that it is there is like an anchor to make me aware of the things that I'm grateful for. And it's leather bound. It has a nice strap around it. You have to really open the book. And I have this pen, which is a calligraphy pen. So I write in the
mhm,
book with a calligraphy pen. So everything has to do with the intention that I'm doing this to make it beautiful, to make it you know aesthetically pleasing. That I when I turn the pages in my book, that I have the sense of this is this is an experience. This is nice. This
mhm.
is this is a moment. Yeah.
I love this. I love this, and it's it's up to us basically to create these moments for ourselves and to
Mhm.
make them an experience because we tend to focus a lot on the things that we need to do, the chores that we have, and basically they're never ending. Like even if you close your to-do list for this day, it might be
Yeah.
that there are other things that still need to get done. And if we don't take this time to create these beautiful experiences for ourselves, chances are that they will continue to um, just never happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that are guaranteed to connect you to gratitude is going out in nature. I love nature, and seeing how much plastic waste we are producing made me think of ways of cutting back. One thing I'm always throwing in my recycling is those huge laundry detergent bottles. But did you know 500 million of those bottles end up in landfills and oceans every single year. That's why I made the switch to Earthbreeze laundry sheets. They come in plastic-free packaging, so they're more eco-friendly than traditional detergent. It's an easy way to get clean clothes without all the plastic waste. Get 40% off with your subscription at earthbreeze.com/gratitude. That's earthbreeze.com/gratitude. I've also included a link in the resources section of this episode so that you can easily access it with just one tap. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. You know by now that my favorite beverage is water. It keeps me going physically, mentally, and emotionally. Keeping hydrated is key, especially during the holidays when we're always on the go. From the cold outside to the much too hot interiors, we tend to sweat and to forget about the core good habits that end up making us feel drained. With convenient packets of Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier or Sugar-Free Hydration Multiplier, you get 8 vitamins and nutrients, 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, and no artificial sweeteners. Making a smoothie or a fruit juice can be cumbersome, but with the true to fruit flavors, you and your family will keep hydrated in a much more enjoyable way. Dare, pour, live more. One stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. Powered by LIV Hydra Science, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. Even more so, it's non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Stay hydrated through the holidays with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code GRAT at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code GRAT at liquidiv.com.
And it's very true. It never ends because, and it has name. It's called life. You know, and of course we are every day we are greeted with new things to do, but we also are greeted with new opportunities to really live and to enjoy it and to create these moments where we really can appreciate the things that we have and the things that we create and the things that other people create for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really powerful, and I think it's really important for us to realize that it's really up to us to find the time to think about when that could be, especially since, and I wanted to ask you about this as well, since we are bombarded with information, with all kinds of things that make us react one way or another, whether that's the news or social media. How can we find a balance in from this point of view?
Yeah, well, um, I I think it's important to learn to filter. Um, it is an important skill because, of course, you want to be aware about the things that are happening in our world, but to be online constantly and seeing all these notifications on your smartphone or your desktop or wherever. The question is, do you need all these little red dots everywhere that are screaming for your attention? Of course not. And actually, it is very unhealthy. Um, that here in Europe, brain-related diseases have overtaken cardiovascular diseases as the main cause of death.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, and and
Wow.
one of the factors is that we are constantly switch tasking. What is
Mm.
switch tasking? It is it is a way of multitasking, but it is highly inefficient and highly dysfunctional and highly um, malignant for your brain. It is I while you are working on one task, your attention is grabbed away and for another task, and while you're doing that, your attention is again taken away for something else. And it is all these things, all these devices are programmed in such a way that it is constantly pushing us to do this. So one way to filter is to go into your phone settings and switch all those notifications off. So it's something that I did, and now I have this notorious reputation that I'm very hard to reach. But I found this a blessing. If people want to reach me, they have to do the efforts. Sorry about that. You know, um,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean that I'm not aware about what's happening in the world, but I am very conscious about the moments that I choose when to read something like the news. Um, I'm not on social media, even though people believe that I'm on social media the whole time, but it's not true. I have a team who takes care of that, and and I am you know I'm a very big favor. I'm a big fan of all the things that are helping us to focus and to really put our attention and to be mindful about things. And so things like meditation and working in a focused way, reading, listening to podcasts, these are the things that are really helping us, and are healthy for
Yeah.
our brain.
Exactly. Exactly. And since we're almost all the time connected, we definitely need time to disconnect and
Yeah,
to be aware of who we are and what we are and what our actual thoughts are, and be able to control them in a way that we talked about in the beginning, to choose to see the beautiful things that we enjoy in our life. Um, you mentioned at some point Neo. What does that
yeah.
stand for?
Well, NEO stands for no expected outcome. And it's a philosophy. And the first philosophy is this: we are constantly bombarded with tasks, with chores, with all these things that grab our attention, and it's very unhealthy. It's and something that I realized myself when post COVID, I had a coaching business which went bankrupt because we were with five partners, and four of the five partners said or decided, we're done with it. Um,
Mm,
they were they were most of them were 10 years or more older than me, and they decided, okay, we don't need this in me anymore, and they actually decided, okay, well, let's close the books on that. So
yeah.
and it meant for me that I really had to work very hard to push through this very troublesome period where there was a lot of things going on. I had to deal with a lot of costs and a lot of things, plans also that didn't come to fruition, and and lawyers and all these kind of things. Definitely not a fun period. And at one moment, I was sitting at my desk on a Friday morning, And I I got a new synthesizer because I enjoyed to make music for my birthday, and it was still wrapped. It was still in the box, and I looked at it and I said, "No, if only I had the time to, take it out of the box and just play some music." But I had all these things that I needed to do on that day, and then I became aware of what you know of the opportunity that I had to make a decision to indeed take that music instrument out of the box, connect it to the computer, and start playing some music, or to do all the tasks that needed to be done, but that also could be done, on Monday the next week. And so I decided to, take the thing outside the box, and I spent the whole day making music. And it was one of the most inspiring days that I lived in months.
Yeah.
And so I realized, well, this is something. Just this one decision that I made, and what I detached myself from was this feeling of, you have to, this feeling of, responsibility and guilt because you didn't do your job and all these kind of things. I put that aside and I said, okay, I hear you, but there's another time for you. Now I decide to, let my creative self again come to the surface. And it gave me a lot of energy. It gave me so much energy that all the tasks that I needed to do, that I could do it in, like in a moment, in a fraction of the time that I otherwise would have needed to do them, because I was, you know, re-energized and inspired. And that's Neo. And when I started to talk about this with others, oh, everybody said, "Well, I recognize this. Your story is also my story." And I heard that so many times. So um, I did a series of workshops online and in real life, and I always got the same reaction that people said, "Okay, this is something that is so out there, and as an idea that you start your day without any plans and without any you know result oriented goal. This is so far out of what we have become accustomed to, that it for many people it felt revolutionary, and for many people also struggled to make that decision. And that's when I decided, okay, I have to create something that can help people move along with this. And I wanted to make it highly accessible, not something that you have to enroll in, this these expensive programs where you have to pay thousands of dollars in order to get a grasp of what it could mean for you. No, something that we all can do. And you know that's so I made this ebook, and then I made some guided meditations, and there's more ideas that I have that I could do around that topic. And yeah, and it started to get its own life, which is of course very, very, yeah, inspiring.
Definitely. And it's powerful in its simplicity. We tend to forget about these kinds of simple things when we get into the habit of doing,
Hmm.
and we forget that we are actually human beings and not
Yeah, and
human
not
doings.
robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, actually, I got to to experience gratitude meditation.
Mhm.
And I know that you have um, this as a gift for our listeners as well. So let us know a little bit about this.
Yeah, well, when I was preparing for this talk, I thought, what could I do that would make your listeners also appreciate not only from our talk but also afterwards. So, and then I said, what kind of gift can I offer? So, so I recorded a um, a new guided meditation track. It's about 15 minutes, and I put it on my website, and so on a special link, and you can get it for free. So there's nothing there. There's just you click on the link to get yeah the to get to the track, and you're there, and then you can start listening. And I made two versions, one with music and one without music, because I know that some people, they enjoy having some music and other people don't. So
Yeah,
go ahead and listen, I would say. And it's a guided meditation about programming your reticular activating system to notice those very small things that are already there, to feel more more grateful.
that's beautiful. Thank you so much for being so generous and for gifting me and our audience this beautiful
Yeah.
meditation. Uh, let
So
us know where we can find it.
yeah, it's on coachsteff.live. So, and Coach Steff is with two F's. So my name is written with two F's at the end, as coachsteff.live/gratitude.
All right, perfect. So
Easy to
I'm
remember.
yeah, exactly. So go to coachstaff.live/gratitude and enjoy the guided meditation. Steph, thank you so much for being here with us, for sharing your wisdom and your
Yeah, thank
warmth.
you.
It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Gratitude Seeker, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this interview. I really appreciate it. And if you could think of one person that would also benefit from it, share it with them. It might actually be the inspiration that they need to make their day or maybe even their life much better. Thank you so much once again. This has been Georgian Benta. Don't forget to keep seeking and spreading gratitude.